Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare and sometimes self-care. And today we are talking about niacinamide. Now, I predict that this is going to be the ingredient of 2023. Niacinamide is such a great multitasking ingredient that can really help you to streamline your skincare routine without overcomplicating it and yet still getting multiple benefits. If you're so ready to find out why you need niacinamide in your routine in 2023, give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. Niacinamide is one of the hardest working skincare ingredients out there that brings so many different benefits to so many different people. Now, niacinamide is well known for its brightening abilities. It definitely is a very potent and very effective brightening ingredient. It works really well for brightening in concentrations between like 2 and 5%, and it works even better when it's combined with the ingredient acetylglucosamine. Now, niacinamide is also an effective, well-aging ingredient that can stimulate collagen production on the skin. That is what helps keep our skin smooth and firm and lifted, free of fine lines and wrinkles. Now, percentages of niacinamide between 4 and 5% are what are studied for its collagen stimulating abilities. But part of the reason why niacinamide is such an effective, well-aging ingredient, beyond just stimulating collagen, it actually also helps to stimulate 3 essential proteins for the skin that include keratin, filaggrin, and involucrin. And these proteins actually decrease. Our body naturally produces them, but it decreases as we get older. And these actually play a really important role in the protein structure of our skin. That's what helps keep it firm and lifted and plump and looking really youthful and smooth. So niacinamide has that little extra edge to it in the well-aging game. Now, niacinamide can also be helpful if you're acne prone, because niacinamide can actually help to regulate the sebum production on your skin. So if you're overproducing oil, it's more likely that that oil is going to grab all the dead skin cells, get trapped deep inside of the pores, creating a clog. And then with inflammation and bacteria added to the party, those are going to become full-blown pimples. So niacinamide can help with the sebum production, but it can also help with inflammation and keeping the skin less inflamed and calm it down. So it can be a really helpful addition to your anti-acne regime. Niacinamide also contributes to a healthy barrier function. And you know that's the root of all good skin, right? Is a strong barrier function. So niacinamide is studied at about 2%, and it has shown its abilities to stimulate your skin's own production of ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. Now, you know that those are the 3 main building blocks or components of your skin barrier. And when those are deficient in your skin, your barrier actually allows for hydration to be lost. That's where you're suffering with dehydrated skin so much, but it also makes your skin vulnerable to outside forces like pollution, UV damage, bacteria. So the barrier, as you can see, is really, really important for keeping your skin healthy. Niacinamide can actually help your body, especially as we get older, the productions of the ceramides and the cholesterol and fatty acids, it does start to decrease. So it's great to add niacinamide into your routine to ensure that your barrier is staying strong and healthy. And niacinamide can do even more than that. It helps to speed up epidermal cell growth. It can help with inflammation on the skin. It can actually help to smooth out the surface of your skin. It can help with texture. It's really helpful in the treatment of atopic dermatitis, rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, and it actually has photoprotective capabilities. So it actually is a helpful ingredient in your battle against the damage that the sun does to our skin. It is also a potent antioxidant. I mean, you can see now like why you need this ingredient in your skincare routine. It can do so much for your skin. So let me talk about well aging first and some of the products that I recommend for that well aging journey. And I do have to start off with the Cosrx Snail Dual Radiance Essence. This contains 5% of niacinamide, and as we've learned, that's really the sweet spot for stimulating collagen production on the skin. But it also contains 74% of snail secretion filtrate, which is such a great, helpful ingredient for the well-aging journey. Not only is it deeply hydrating, I mean, snail really helps to plump up your skin with lots of juicy hydration. It's really helpful if you do have dehydrated skin. And when your skin is lacking hydration, it might look a little bit more dull. It might even look like a little bit more saggy. You might even be noticing like a little bit of fine lines in your skin because your skin's not properly hydrated, properly plumped up with hydration, and properly smooth. So hydration can actually go a long way way in the well aging journey. Now, what's really interesting about this product is it is a dual chamber essence. So there's the niacinamide portion on one side with some moisturizing emollient ingredients, and then the other side is like that snail secretion concentrate that's really hydrating and plumping for the skin. So when you pump the bottle, you get both equal parts of both of these serums, and then you mix them together for the ultimate hydrating, plumping, moisturizing feel for the skin. This definitely has a medium feel. It plumps up your skin with lots of hydration and then just like seals and hugs everything in with good balancing, non-greasy moisture. And this is never sticky at all. Now, Stratia Rewind is a product that I'm always talking about if your main goal for your skincare routine is plumper, firmer, lifted, more elastic skin. This features 5% of niacinamide. That's the sweet spot. That's what you really want to look for. But this also combines that with 2.5% of DMAE. Now, this is a really promising ingredient that shows great benefits for skin elasticity and skin firmness. It feels really nice and plumping. There's a good amount of hyaluronic acid in here. It's a nice medium weight, a type of serum with a little bit of that like hint of moisture, a little balance to it, but it's not greasy, it's not rich. Feels really nice and plumping on the skin. But after you've used it for like 2 weeks or so, you're gonna notice that your skin is so firm. It is so plump. It is so firm. You might even notice a little bit more of a lifted look to it. It works really, really fast. This really surprised me. And this is actually the very first niacinamide product that turned me on to the benefits of niacinamide outside of brightening. Because I didn't know that niacinamide could do more than brightening until I used this product. And I was like, why does this work so fast? Why does this work so good? And why is my skin so firm? Now, an option outside of serums is the Then I Met You Giving Essence. This uses 5% of niacinamide in combination with about 80% of galactomyces ferment. So this is not only going to help with well aging and stimulating collagen, but it's also going to really like oomph up the brightening benefits of niacinamide, because galactomyces ferment is something that really helps with the tone and the overall brightness of your skin. It is one of those ingredients that really helps to give you that lit from within, really healthy, fresh glow to your skin. It's also packed with so many like what I call essential nutrients for the skin. There's lots of hydrating amino acids in it. It's got antioxidant protection. It's got all kinds of like nutrients that really help with the health of your skin. And it's a really great ingredient to seek out if well aging really is your primary goal. Now, this is a nice alternative to serums because we've got that more watery essence-like texture. It's a lot thinner and lighter on the skin than the other two products that we talked about. It's got some nice hydration to it, just a tiny bit of plumping. There's some red algae in here, and I find that that's a really nice kind of plumping type of ingredient that brings just a little bit of balance to the skin, but it feels really nice, really refreshing, but you're also getting all of that great niacinamide and galactomyces ferment. One of my big skincare trend predictions for 2023 was body care, right? Going way beyond just body lotion or moisturizer and really focusing in on active ingredients that target the skin concerns below your chin. And that's where the next product comes in. It's the Paula's Choice Niacinamide 5% Body Serum. So this uses 5% of niacinamide, and that can really help to target, maybe you're noticing some loss of elasticity, maybe around the décolletage chest area, maybe even like your neck. If you're noticing fine lines, like I said, maybe some sagginess, loss of elasticity, 5% of niacinamide is a really gentle way to help target those concerns on your body. It is also an effective amount for brightening. So maybe you do have some hyperpigmentation. I know if I get a breakout on my back, I'm going to have a hyperpigmentation mark on my back. And it can be really hard to target brightening on your body, but with 5% of niacinamide, it's like a no-brainer, right? So hyperpigmentation, fine lines, loss of elasticity, niacinamide can really help with that. Next, let's focus on products that will help you with your brightening goals. Now, this one's really hard because niacinamide is a really effective brightener, and legitimately every product in this video will help to brighten up your skin and will help to target hyperpigmentation. But, you know, I said my goal was really to focus a little bit less on percentages of just the star ingredient and look at formulas in a more holistic manner. And so that's why I chose the next two products, because they include other really effective brightening ingredients alongside niacinamide that are going to hyper target the pigmentation on your skin. So the Tiam Vita B3 Source Serum is one of my favorites. It does contain 10% of niacinamide, which I find personally to be a really effective amount for anti-acne concerns. ingredients because it's definitely great for calming inflammation on the skin, but it also helps with sebum production. It can really help to regulate that on the skin. And I have found through personal use that 10% of niacinamide really helps to refine the look of enlarged pores and really helps with texture on the skin as well. It has 10% of niacinamide paired with 2% of arbutin. And you may know this as a really good brightening ingredient. And sometimes it's also even referred to as an alternative to niacinamide. And some people do find that it works better than niacinamide. And the reason for that is that they actually, these two ingredients, niacinamide and arbutin, work on hyperpigmentation in different ways. The way that they inhibit the melanin on the skin is different, and they target like different ways that hyperpigmentation begins on the skin. So while one may work better for you, combining them actually is extremely effective for really going at hyperpigmentation from many different angles. And if you have stubborn hyperpigmentation, that may be the way that you want to go, is looking for more of a multi-layered, maybe a slightly more sophisticated approach than just using one ingredient to brighten your skin. Now let's talk about the Paula's Choice Niacinamide 20% treatment. Now the reason I chose this for the brightening categories, we do have a high percentage of niacinamide. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but it's combining niacinamide with acetylglucosamine. Now this is a really great brightening ingredient that actually has been studied in combination with niacinamide. They actually have a synergistic effect with each other. They help each other work better at brightening the skin and targeting hyperpigmentation. This is a very thoughtful formulation from Paula's Choice. Instead of just blasting you completely with a high percentage of niacinamide, they have combined it with an effective synergistic ingredient for brightening the skin. Now let me talk about 20% of niacinamide, because that's a very high percentage. And in fact, when you look at the studies of niacinamide, and this is one of the best studied ingredients out there, they don't use high percentages like this. I don't think there's even studies for 10%. It really is the 2% to 5% range is usually what's studied, and that's usually what shows all of those great benefits that we've talked about. It's actually in lower percentages. That doesn't mean that going higher isn't going to give you a good result. It absolutely can, but I always like to caution you with this because our minds always see a bigger percentage and we think it must be better, and that's not always the case. It's not necessarily going to work for you faster or better or give you more results necessarily. As you work your way up in percentages, you do have to be a little bit more on the ball when it comes to monitoring your skin for irritation as well. Niacinamide, one of the reasons why I do predict this to be a really big ingredient in 2023 is because it doesn't really irritate the skin. Like the potential for irritation is very low when you stick in the 2 to 5% range. As we move out of that, the potential for irritation can get a little bit higher. So I'm not totally against it. It's not the right choice for my skin, I can tell you that. I'm not totally against it though, but what I would say is maybe start yourself off. If you haven't used a lot of high percentage of niacinamide, start yourself off a little bit lower and work your skin up and see how it responds. And always be monitoring for irritation because it is possible that it's that bigger percentage is just not right for you. Next, let's talk about serums that are great for acne prone skin. And we got to start off with the very famous The Ordinary Niacinamide 10% plus zinc. Now, this is a hyper popular product. It is very effective and it's extremely affordable. I think this one is really great if you do suffer with acne because 10%, as I talked about with the Tiam serum, it does tend to be the percentage that really helps with regulating sebum on the skin. This is also combined with zinc, which is an effective anti-acne ingredient that helps with sebum regulation as well. So they're really harnessing that approach with this particular formulation. The texture is it's okay. It's not anything to really sing home about. It is just kind of like a basic watery, slightly gel-like texture. It absorbs pretty nicely into the skin, but it does just kind of leave like a sort of tacky sort of finish. Some people do experience pilling with this. I don't personally get a lot of pilling with this product, anything that I put on top of it, but it is just a little sticky, a little tacky on the skin. And so it may not be like, if you're really into textures, it may not be your favorite thing in the world. If that doesn't bother you, I think this is an excellent 10% serum because again, so affordable, and that formulation with the zinc really targeted at acne prone skin. I have to mention the new Cosrx the Niacinamide 15% serum, because this is actually an example of a niacinamide formulation that is targeting acne prone skin. So we have 15% of niacinamide. We also have 2% of zinc. As I mentioned, that's actually very helpful for acne prone skin. But they've also added in a little extra brightening to this formulation with 2% of acetylglucosamine. So this is a really nice formulation that is going to help you not only with excessive sebum, with texture, with pores, with acne, with inflammation. It's also going to help you with brightening as well. I also want to quickly talk about the texture, because as I mentioned, sometimes when you get higher percentage, you do get kind of like a funny feel. This isn't that bad at all, and I think it's more elegant than the ordinary. It's a looser kind of like runny gel type of serum. It feels lightweight on the skin, but there is a little hint of richness, just a little bit of moisture to this. I don't think that it's going to be bad for oily skin, but it's just maybe something you're not fully expecting when you put on a serum that has like a gel type of texture. So it's just a little bit of bouncing moisture to this. You feel it a little bit more between your fingers, but it's really not heavy, greasy, or bothersome on the skin. And I couldn't not talk about one of my favorite anti-acne serums in this portion of the video, which is the Beauty of Joseon Glow Serum, because I've been talking and raving about this for years now, right? I really admire the formulation of this product because it actually hits so many different acne prone skin concerns in one formula. And I love that, because the whole idea about adding niacinamide into your routine is to streamline it to get multiple benefits, and that's what this provides. So we do have Propolis in here, which is a great anti-inflammation ingredient. It's antibacterial and really helps to balance out the skin with wound healing abilities. We have 2% of niacinamide, which is, lower than the percentages that we've been talking about, but it is actually still effective for calming inflammation on the skin and helping to brighten hyperpigmentation on the skin. But then we've also got betaine salicylate, which is like a cousin to salicylic acid. This is not a full-blown exfoliating serum, but this is something that is really gentle on the skin that kind of helps to keep your pores clear, to clear out the clogs that are already there and then to prevent them from happening again. So with longer term use, you should notice clearer, less texturized skin, less clogs in your skin. The texture here is thicker than pretty much every serum that we've talked about so far. It is more of like a balancing, moisturizing, plumping gel texture. It's kind of odd, but it definitely does have a heftier feel on the skin. It really plumps your skin up. It feels really nice and balancing. There's just a little whisper of richness, just a little bit. Now let's talk about niacinamide products that help keep your moisture barrier strong and healthy. The Roche-Posay Triple Repair Moisturizer, aka Lipicar AP+. That's the old name. They changed the name. It's now called the Triple Repair Moisturizer. If you have very dry skin, if you are eczema prone, or if you just get really itchy skin, you may be experiencing an impaired moisture barrier. And La Roche-Posay has a really great line that is all about targeting the moisture barrier, and they're really using some key ingredients that include niacinamide. Niacinamide, we know that helps to stimulate ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. They combine that with glycerin, which is a really beautiful hydrating, replenishing ingredient for the skin. They have shea butter, which helps to balance, moisturize, and help to hug everything into the skin, keep that hydration in place. And they also use ceramide NP in this formula. And of course, we know ceramides are great for your moisture barrier. This is a very luxurious, buttery, moisturizing, emollient, rich cream. Like I said, this is really targeted to very dry skin types. Now let's talk about the Purito Unscented Centella Recovery Cream. Now this is a favorite cream of mine. I really love this so much. And it actually is similar in vibes to the La Roche-Posay Lipicar or Triple Repair Moisturizer, because it is relying on some of the same key ingredients, but we definitely have our kbeauty twist here. So we have 2% of niacinamide, we have glycerin, shea butter, and ceramide NP, but then we also have Centella in here, which is so great for calming like inflammation, irritation on the skin. It can reduce redness. It's an antioxidant. It's really great for sensitive skin. And if you are suffering with irritation, sensitivity, inflammation, it's possible that your moisture barrier needs a little bit more help. So this is a really nice combination of ingredients to target that. Now this is also a cream that I would describe as buttery and silky and rich, but it's actually not as thick it doesn't feel as thick on the skin as the Lipicar or the Triple Repair Cream. It's hard for me to like switch the names over, you know what I mean? But it's is a little bit lighter than the La Roche-Posay. Now the Beauty of Joseon Dynasty Cream is a great option if you have a combination skin type. If you need a little bit more moisture and comfort and nourishment on your skin, but you're also looking for something that's light and breathable and not going to overwhelm your oily areas, Dynasty Cream I really think is it. This combines 2% of niacinamide for all the stimulating ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids with beautiful rice bran extract and ginseng for our well-aging needs. And this also has ceramide and pea in it as well. And it has this really beautiful, like plump gel cream type of texture, really. It really feels very hydrating on the skin. It makes your skin feel very bouncy. And then it has that right amount of moisture, not too much, not too buttery, not too rich. Just that right amount of moisture that really balances out your skin, and just the right amount of moisture that hugs in the hydration to your skin without feeling really occlusive, without like sealing your skin off to the point where it feels like you can't breathe, or it's just this really oppressive layer on your skin. It's still really airy and breathable, but like I said, for a combination skin, it just offers that balance that your skin is really seeking without all the extra emolliency and all the extra heaviness on the skin. And I can't not talk about Stratia Liquid Gold, right? I'm always using it, I'm always talking about it, and I always talk about it in context of barrier repair because it does contain ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. Now those ingredients, when they're in skincare and you apply that skincare on top of your skin, they are actually effective to dive deep into your skin and help to repair your skin barrier. It does work to apply them on top of your skin, but it can't hurt to combine it with a cell communicating ingredient like niacinamide that can communicate to your skin to produce its own ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. And I think that's why this is actually so effective at healing and strengthening the moisture barrier. That's when I first used this product, when my moisture barrier was straight up damaged, and this really helped to get my skin to heal. And definitely, like I said, ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids on top of the skin helps, but I think the niacinamide is actually the unsung hero ingredient in this formulation. It's all about looking a little bit deeper beyond just like the star ingredients, right? Now, texture-wise, it is actually thinner in feel than the other moisturizers that I talked about in the barrier care section of this video. It is thinner on the skin, but it actually packs in a lot of rich moisture. There's a lot of emolliency here. It just doesn't come in that traditional thicker, fluffier cream type of texture. It's thinner on the skin. I realized, I use this product like 2 times a day, every single day for many, many years now. And I realized like, yeah, this keeps my barrier strong, but I think part of the reason I am just love it and adore it so much is the 4% of niacinamide has actually been benefiting my well-aging journey this entire time. It was the niacinamide that we met along the way the whole time, right? So such a great product and a really good example of how niacinamide can deliver multiple benefits to your skin. So are you going to add niacinamide into your skincare routine now, or maybe you're already using it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. Now, if you watch this whole video and these recommendations and talking about niacinamide actually really helped your skincare journey, please, I would be so honored if you would just take a moment before you leave to hit subscribe. I release a lot of new skincare videos just like this one throughout the week, and I also release shorts as well. So consider turning on notifications so you're never out of the loop and you're always getting quality skincare content. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world. I'm so, so grateful you are with me here today. I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.